In today's video, I'm going to show you how to use a boom microphone to capture incredible crystal clear audio for your videos. So let's get right into it. Hey, what's up? It's Chris from Brooker Films, and yes, in today's video, we're talking all about audio and more precisely how you can use a boom microphone to capture crystal clear audio for your films. Now, there's a few different things that you need to obtain in order to build a boom microphone. And the first, of course, is a microphone. This is the Rode NTG2 shotgun microphone, and a shotgun microphone is really useful because it only captures sound coming in from this end. So if sound's coming in from this end, the audio will be perfectly captured and fed into your camera. What this basically means is any sound coming in from the sides, because of the pattern of this microphone, this sound will be rejected. Meaning if I was shooting sound talking into the microphone, my voice will be nice and clear. But if I talk to the microphone like this, unfortunately my voice will not be clear, it will be really ugly and it won't sound pretty at all. So that's why this microphone is used for boom microphones, because you can point this at your subject, you can point this at your actor of choice, and only their audio will be picked up. This means if you're filming in a busy city centre, for example, then all of the noise of the environment will be reduced in your audio, and the sounds from your actor will be the most predominant audio in the take. So we have our shotgun microphone, and this is what we're going to use to capture the audio. But if we hold the microphone, the sounds of messing with the microphone in your hands will be transferred to the microphone, and this is going to ruin your audio. So we need to put the microphone into a cradle, and that is what this is. This is the cradle, and you use this to hold the microphone in place. And this is really cool because the microphone will be suspended between these rubber bands. And this basically means that when you're handling the cradle, any sounds that you make from touching the cradle will not be transferred into the microphone. So in order to connect these two together, we have to feed the microphone through the middle of these rubber bands and position this through the middle. And there you go. That is the boom microphone connected to the cradle. But of course, if we're filming outside, then we're going to have to deal with wind noise. And although this microphone does block out a lot of noise coming in from the sides, unfortunately, if it's windy and the wind is blowing onto the microphone, then the sound of the wind is going to distort the audio and ruin anything that we capture. So that is where we need a wind guard. So all we have to do is slide this onto the microphone, and we're protected against light wind. Of course, if the wind is a little bit heavier, then we're going to need something which is a little bit more heavy duty. And that is where the DEADCAT comes into play. The DEADCAT is this fluffy sock that goes over your microphone, and this basically rejects a load of the noise that would be produced from the wind. So all you have to do is slide this onto your microphone, and you're pretty much protected from strong to medium wind with this DEADCAT on the microphone. But if you were filming in the middle of a storm, if it was really heavy wind, then this wouldn't work, unfortunately. You'd still hear the wind rustling on the microphone. So in that case, you would need a BLIMP for your microphone. And this basically, as the name implies, it looks like a very small BLIMP. You put the microphone in this BLIMP, and this is really good at reducing the wind noise from heavy wind. Right, so we have our microphone, we're protected from the wind, and we have the cradle to suspend the microphone. But now we need to hold this above our actors, and this is where we need to use a boom pole. So this is a boom pole, and these are really cool because these can extend 2, 3, 4, maybe even 5 meters. And this basically means you can be behind the camera, hold the boom pole above your actor, and you won't be in the scene. So all you have to do is twist these and extend the length of your boom pole. But for now, we don't need to do that. So we'll just close that off, and we're just going to connect the boom pole to the cradle. So your cradle should have a thread at the bottom, and this is going to screw in to the top of the boom pole. So we'll screw that into place, and once that is perfectly in position, you should now, if we lock this all down, you should now have your boom pole connected to your microphone. We now have our boom pole, we have our cradle, we have our microphone, and we have our wind protection. But we're not connected to anything. So if we hold this above our talents, even though the microphone is going to be in a perfect position, we're not going to record any sound because we're not connected to a sound recording device. So this is where we need to connect to an XLR cable. So at the back of this shotgun microphone, we have these 3 pins, and this is a 3-pin XLR connection. And we have to plug in a 3-pin XLR cable to the microphone in order to connect to a sound recording device. So this is an XLR cable, and we have 2 sides of the cable. We have this side, which is the female side, and this side, which is the male side. So we need to plug the female into the male connection. So we'll plug this into the microphone, and now this can be plugged into a sound recording device. If you're shooting on a digital SLR or a camera that does not have a built-in XLR connection, then you're gonna have to use a recording device like a Zoom H4n. A Zoom H4n just basically records the sound from the shotgun microphone and allows you to monitor the levels and the volume and everything else that you would need to do to adjust the audio. So this sound recording device has XLR female at the bottom of this, so we're going to plug the male side of the connection into the sound recording device, and we are now hooked up and ready to go. So all we need to do is turn this sound recording device on, start rolling, adjust the levels, and then we can just capture our audio, and everything from this microphone will be sent directly into the sound recording device. So now that we're all connected, I'm just going to talk a little bit about holding the boom pole and where you want the microphone to be to capture the best audio. So first of all, when you're holding the boom mic, you want to be behind the camera, and you want this pole and the microphone to be completely out of shot. If the boom pole or the microphone is in shot, then you may as well just jump in the shot as well, because this is ruined and you're not going to be able to use this in your video. So you want the boom pole operator, the person operating this pole, to stand behind the camera or stand off screen. Extend the boom pole out as far as you need to go, and you need to hold this above your head. So once you've got the boom pole above your head and you're standing behind the camera, we need to get rid of this cable. So we'll pull the cable back and we'll just wrap this around the boom pole a little bit, because we don't want the cable to dangle into the shot. Now, the best positioning of the boom microphone is directly above the actor's head. So if you've got somebody talking and you need to capture their audio, then you need to get the microphone as close to them as you physically can. Now, a microphone works best when it is close to the sound. So if somebody is talking, you're going to capture the cleanest audio if the microphone is right here. But unfortunately, you can't put the microphone right there because it's going to be in the shot. So ideally, you want the microphone to be just above the talent's head. However, you don't want it to be directly above their head. You want it to be just in front of their head. So let me just show you. If I look to the side, rather than the microphone being here, you want the microphone to be positioned about here. This is because when you're talking, your sound is coming out, and the microphone is going to capture that sound coming out here. If the microphone is back here, when the sound comes out, it's not going to hit the microphone, and the sound is going to be a little bit ugly. So you want the microphone to be as close as you can to the subject's head and just away from the face just a little bit. And then of course, you want the microphone to be pointing at your subject, because you don't want to block out their audio. So if the actor is over here right in front of me, rather than the microphone being pointed this way, or this way, we want the microphone to point right down towards the talent to perfectly capture their audio. Now, the reason why we hold the microphone above the actor's head rather than holding it below and shooting up is because there's typically more noise above the subject than there is below the subject. So if you're filming outside, for example, then you're going to have airplanes and helicopters potentially going over. Whereas if you point down at the ground, typically you won't have a lot of noise coming from the ground next to your subject. So when you're shooting sound with a boom microphone, it's always worth remembering that you need to 1, be out of the shot, 2, you need to point the microphone at the subject, and 3, you want to get the microphone as close to the subject as physically possible. Now, it's always super important to pay very close attention to your audio. If you have bad audio, people will notice and your film will feel very amateur. Even if you spent loads of money and used the best cameras on your visuals, if your sound sucks, then your film sucks. I'm sorry. And there you go. If you enjoyed watching this video, then please do let me know in that comment section below. And don't forget to subscribe by clicking this. And don't forget to check out the previous video by clicking this box just down here. Thank you for watching, and I will see you on the next video.